Hi, I'm Stephanie Hilborne from the Wildlife Trust, and I wanted to thank BIG for its support it's already given to our work with people and wildlife, which has been expressed both through the Access to Nature programme and also the local food programme, but other very exciting projects that have been run around the country as well. Fundamentally, we are all dependent on the natural world, and whilst we have to some extent treated the environment as an issue, it isn't an issue, it is what we're fundamentally dependent on. The values we draw from the natural world are multiple. Many of us believe that it has intrinsic worth in its own right, and that's what fires a lot of people up to try to protect it and indeed enhance it. But the natural world is also a direct source of emotional benefit to people. We are, after all, mammals, and we feel right, we feel natural when we're surrounded by the natural world. That sense of spiritual enhancement is something that you can't put a value on, a financial value, but it's incredibly important, and it underpins the extraordinary benefits of exposure to nature for people suffering, for instance, from depression. It's 8 times cheaper to treat depression with nature than it is to use drugs. Then we have our dependence on the natural world for our food, our water, our housing, everything that we need to survive. And finally, there are economic benefits that we can draw from the natural world. So there is a large number of values in the natural world, and I think that the really interesting thing, if you look at BIG's overall purpose, is that as the society in the UK becomes less equal, there is also less equality in our access to nature. It's really quite shocking how few children in particular now are regularly exposed to the natural world. And I was talking to a chap who runs a few schools, and he was saying that in Dagenham, for instance, there are lots of kids who would say, oh, is there a river in London? Because they're not even being allowed to roam that far. I think whilst in some eras, some of the most deprived communities have actually had really good access to nature, and I'm thinking of communities like the mining communities in Nottinghamshire. Now, there's an increasing trend that the only young people who really get to experience nature are those whose parents have really committed to exposing them to it and to have the resources to take them to special places. So we have a double challenge ahead of us, which is making sure that there are enough really special wildlife-rich places near a lot of us and near where we live, and try to expand that, because in fact we've also depleted that hugely, but also how we as a society can reconnect people to the natural world. And we're looking forward to BIG helping with all of that in the next period. Thank you.